Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bhagavan continues about the state of a person who is attained this highest state of tranquility, the yogi. He says, such a yogi, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. For such a person, what is night to others is day to him, and what is day to him is night to others. Here, night and day here means, he says, the Sthita Prajna, a person who has total tranquility, he is away, and he is away from the sensory objects, that is what is night, and he is totally awake with regard to the samadhi, that is the day. Normally people are after the senses, worldly pleasures, and they are not after the inner world or the inwardly pleasure of samadhi, whereas the yogi is free from the worldly pleasures and he is always after the state of samadhi. Another indication of the state of a Sthita Prajna person is given with an example in 70. He says a Sthita Prajna or a great yogi is like the sea, he is not like a river. The river, when there is water flow, lot of water flow, it goes ups and downs. That is, there is an overflowing when the water comes in. This is compared to the rejoicing with pleasures, and the river can become dry, and this is equated to sorrow. Whereas in the case of a sea, whether water flows or not, the sea always remains very steady and calm. So an example is given here of the state of mind of a person who is in the state of Sthita Prajna. He is equated to the sea. In other words, he is established in total peace within himself. Verse 71, he says, Vihaya kaman yassarvan pamamscharita nisprugaha nirmamo nirahankara sashanti madhigacchati. The two things that bind all the humans are the I feeling as well as the mind. This is presented in all the philosophies. Patanjali presents it as asmita, raga dvesha vinivesha, which result in bondage with the outside world, mamata. The Vedanta and others use the word ahanta and mamata. And he says, such a person who has attained that state of peace is beyond the I and mind. He is always in peace. This state is called Brahma Nirvana. So the chapter ends with this verse number 72. Bhagavan Krishna says, such a Sthita Prajna is nearing the state of Kaivalya, what the Yoga Sutra talks about, and he uses the terminology Brahma Nirvanam in this context. So, Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha, he says the one who is established in the state of Brahman, which means a state of totality or completeness. And it leads to the state of Brahma Nirvana. The Brahmi Sthiti leads to the state of Brahma Nirvana. Like the Sankhya Karika says, Nasmi Name Naham. At the end of the Sankhya Karika, 3 words are used. Na, Aham, Nasmi, Name. Name means these things do not belong to me. Na, Aham. This Ahankara or this I feeling is not mine. Nasmi, this Mahatattvam also is not mine. Transcending all these three leads to that state of Kaivalyam, what Patanjali talks in the Yoga Sutra. That is what is described here in the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita.